Greetings, lovely listeners. It's your host, Ask Karen with Wealthy Enters, coming to you live from the warm and cheerful coast of North Florida. I hope you're all enjoying an outstanding day wherever you are. Now, on today's episode, we're going to dive headfirst into the fascinating world of 501c8s. Trust me, folks, these little wonders hold the key to unlocking community empowerment like never before. So buckle up and get ready to discover how you can tap into the immense potential they offer any community that's aware of their existence. But before we embark on our eye-opening discussion, I want to extend my heartfelt gratitude to each and every one of you. Your comments, questions, and unwavering support have been an absolute inspiration. I couldn't be more thankful for your positive feedback, the feedback I've received for the first episode. So thank you all from the bottom of my heart for your motivation and kind words. Now, let's welcome our co-host to the show. Please join me in welcoming Stephen, I'm going to say it right, Stephen Olson from Reliable VA Services. And let me tell you, folks, partnering with Reliable VA Services has been a game changer for me this year, an absolute business blessing. As I made the courageous decision to break away from a larger team and embark on independence, Reliable VA Services became the beacon of light that guided me through this exciting transformation. Their unwavering support has been the fuel behind my business's growth and success, and I am so grateful to have them on my side. Now, if you're grappling with marketing challenges or seeking some fresh ideas, or just simply need someone to lend a hand during the busy periods, I wholeheartedly recommend reaching out to Reliable VA Services. And trust me when I say, they're the missing piece to your puzzle. You'll find their contact information below this episode, so don't hesitate to book a consultation and take your business to new heights. Now, without further ado, let's jump right into our exploration of 501c8s and how they can revolutionize your community. Get ready for an episode full of valuable insights and practical advice. So let's get started, shall we?
That sounds like a plan, Stan. How you doing today, Karen?
I'm doing well. It's a beautiful day today, and I'm excited to do my second episode after getting such great feedback.
Awesome. I'm excited too. Thank you for that endorsement as well.
Now, how are you doing today?
I'm doing relatively okay. This past week we have been without AC, so we're kind of hot over here. But we're making the best out of life, making lemonade out of lemons.
Okay, best way to get through the heat is lemonade.
You got it, with ice. So I'm talking about 501c8s. I never had heard of one of those type of things before. I had met you. And once I started learning about it, I was like, wow, this is pretty interesting. So for our listeners, can you please explain what a 501c8 organization is?
Yes, a 501c8 organization is a nonprofit. And this nonprofit is part of a fraternal benefit society. And if you look that up, that is a society that is based on empowering and enriching communities with funding, education, and all kinds of benefits. 501c8 is usually attached to a financial institution like an insurance company or some other kind of financial institution, maybe even a bank. But when you think of banking, you think of credit unions, and they are 501c3s, if I'm not mistaken. I could be off on that last, but they are 501c either 1 or 3s, and I should look into that so I have that correct. Next time I talk about it, I will come up with the right digit behind them. But just like a credit union has benefits for their members, a 501c8 has some fantastic benefits that we're going to dive into.
Beautiful. And then for yourself, how did you become like a member of the 501c8 community, if you will?
Well, as an insurance agent, I found out something I didn't know, that there are nonprofit insurance agencies out there. And okay, I had to find out what that meant. And when I realized that it meant that I could get my hands on money that I could use to empower communities, I got a policy, because just like if you're in a credit union, you get a bank account. When you're in a 501c8, you get a policy, and you can get almost any kind of policy as long as you have a policy. I got myself an accidental death policy because I didn't have one, and they're fairly inexpensive, but you can get a term, an IUL, whatever your family needs or you need, or just get one so that you have membership into this fabulous organization.
So like when it comes to like a small policy, let's say I'm interested, down the road. I mean, what would be kind of like the starting entry point, or like what could I expect to pay for membership?
$25 a month. And if you pay that off in the year, then that's whatever that is, you do the math. So $25 a month would be what the lowest entry level to have membership in a 501c8. Plus, most times when you get a membership to anything, you're just paying a membership fee. But remember, you're getting protection for your family. So for me now, if I stupidly go out there and speed down the block, like I tend to do sometimes, and I unfortunately, meet my end, there's a benefit that my family will have for my stupidity.
Okay, gotcha. So before we go into like, why you had bought a policy for yourself, I do have like a kind of off the cuff. Can't even speak. I'm like all animated right now, so please bear along with me.
Yeah.
I have like an off the cuff type of question. For me personally, I don't want to support other like religious organizations, and I know some of our listeners may feel the same way. So as far as with like Foresters, which I believe is the insurer that you had gone through, do they have any affiliation with religion?
No, it's a regular insurance company that wanted to give back. So they joined the Fraternal Benefit Society. They are nonprofit, therefore they are taxed that way. But no, anybody, I myself am not a religious person. I do believe in God. So this is just for anyone any American, whether you believe or not, can benefit from this.
Okay, so any person, any faith, they could use it for the cause that they believe in.
Yes.
Awesome. Okay, so let's get into the nitty-gritty. Why did you purchase a policy?
When I first became an insurance agent, I became an insurance agent because I wanted to help people. I do help people, but this gives me the real ability to help those that really need it. So I can go into a community and do a backpack drive, or I can do a grooming basket for those, or I can do a food drive, whatever the need is, or I can partner with other nonprofits and give back. So the reason I decided to do this is to extend this service to the community. And to do that, you have to do it yourself. So I don't want to just talk the talk. I want to walk the walk. So I joined so I could start using the funds. And then I can now talk about it as a person that is doing it.
Awesome. Now, for our listeners, I wanted them to also know that the kind of insurance that Karen sells isn't the typical whole life, policies and term policies that, many people will kind of glaze their eyes over just because of how many insurance agents have abused people with it. I mean, it's a sad fact, right? The policies that Karen sells are mutually owned and not stock owned. And that's one of the reasons why I really, I would say, was drawn towards what she does, because she is there to help people. So guys, I mean, check it out. Stock owned versus mutually owned, there's a world of difference. Let's go into some of these benefits. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Well, I just want to say you're right. We're going to have another episode that's going to talk about what I didn't know, because when I became an agent, I didn't know about whole life and the power it has. I only knew one side of it, but luckily I was taught that this is a game changer for anyone that wants to change their finances. So I look forward to talking about infinite banking, cash value life insurance, private equity banking, and how it can it's been a game changer for me. It allows me to run this business and dabble in all of the different things that I enjoy. So I look forward to talking about that. And thank you, Stephanie. Guys, you guys, I'm going to say this, and I'm not going to erase this. I am always messing up his name, and I hate that. This is Stefan, and I'm so used to Steven, but it's my ignorance. So, guys, his name is Stefan, and I am a bonehead when I say Steven.
No worries, Karen. All right, so let's continue on. You were talking about like some of the benefits. You had actually given me like a list of them. Do you happen to have those with
Oh,
you?
yeah, I have a list of them too. I mean, I know them, but because I'm just so excited about getting started, give me a second. I'm gonna pull them up. Okay. There it is.
Okay, so Karen, you had provided a list of like wonderful benefits that 501(c)(8)s provide. You know, it may not be for every single, fraternal society, but what are some of the ones that you came across that like help?
Well, I've been digging into it myself because I recently became a member. So the first one that I'm excited about and I'm getting started with right away are the grants. They have two forms of grants. One is a smaller grant where you can do baskets or you can buy food or whatever. As long as you're helping someone out, you can get a $200. And I understand it's very easy to get, and I'm in the process myself. Shouldn't take more than a week to receive. And that $200 you can use for anything as long as you can prove you're helping another person. Then they have
so
large.
I'm going to stop you right there. I'm sorry. So what is this first one that your first grant that you have? What is it going to be used for?
Well, I'm going to use it for, and I'm brainstorming with my team. I think I'm going to use it for something to do with the summer. You have these kids all getting ready to go to summer camp, and a lot of their moms and dads with inflation are not going to have the money they need. So I'm going to put together a kit of things that I remember that I needed when I went to camp. And I'm just going to make sure I get them in the hands of those young kids so that when they show up at camp, they don't feel less than because their parents wanted to get them in camp, but they didn't have enough money. So I think that's what I'm going to use, but I wanted to touch base with my team to make sure that I'm not off the mark, being that I'm an old person.
Oh,
See,
you guys have wisdom. What are you talking about?
Yeah, well, I got grandkids, so I got to make sure.
All right, I'm sorry for cutting you off. Continue.
Oh, no problem. And then there's the larger one. They have a $2,000 grant. Now with that, you can really help somebody. So with that, you can do a whole food drive. You can do an event where you can educate people. You can do whatever it takes to bring something into a community. You can put together food for the homeless or blankets for the homeless and go out and distribute them. Just make sure that you follow whatever the state guidelines are, because I know some states have guidelines and I never want to get anyone in trouble. But whatever you can do, you can help single moms. If you know there are a lot of single moms in your neighborhood, what can you do? I mean, wouldn't it be great if they woke up in the morning and found milk, bread, and eggs on the steps? Whatever you can do.
Nice. Now, there was something you had made mention of a while back, which kind of hit home for me because I used to work within the healthcare industry per se, where I would deliver hospital beds and wound vac therapy and such. And one of my supervisors, what he would do for like the nurses would like have his wife make like a Chex Mix, for the nurses where they could enjoy like a little snack or something like that. They loved that. I mean, just having that support, from I guess you could call it the community. I mean, just the fact that somebody gave the initiative and gave them a little something, it showed that they were being thought of, so you could do the same thing with this as well, right?
I believe so. I'm going to find out for you and be able to come back. I don't see why not, because nurses, as we all know from the recent, health event we went through, are like just heroes. So I can't see why not, but I'm digging into everything. I believe you can help those that are helping us. Also, sometimes it's the paramedics that come on the scene, and they're going around and dealing with some horrific things. So those are some great ideas, Stefan.
Beautiful. Okay. Another benefit of the membership, it looks like here, is like online courses.
Oh,
Can you talk about that?
yes, I don't know about the people out there, but I love learning. That's one of my passions. I love learning. They have an entire library. So if there's something that you always wanted to do and you were stopped in your tracks because you didn't know Excel or you didn't know coding, whatever it is, there's a whole library of courses that are 100% free for members to dive in and get that knowledge so that they can upgrade or start a new business. They can upgrade the business they're in or upgrade the job they're in. So that is exciting. And I'm going to be able to come back at an episode and talk about them because you know me, I love learning. So I'm going to take advantage of it.
I'm just gonna give a couple of these because I think they're very interesting.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay with you. So I see here that you have there's stuff that deals with professional development, sales, finance, computer skills, writing and communication. I need to work on communication myself. I don't have a problem when it comes to presentations if I'm prepared, but like when I'm having a podcast like this, I know that down the line I'm going to be like scrunching and like, oh my gosh, how could I, like, I'm bumbling over right now. It's just a part of the natural growth. So I think that having these classes is really, really cool. I mean, I'm all about education as well. So
Yeah,
this is really cool.
uplifting and empowering. I love it.
Exactly. All right. So when it comes to like building up your community, I mean, is there any other ideas that you have when it comes to that?
It's just word of mouth. See, these are nonprofits. So unlike other insurance companies, you're not going to get a commercial like your neighbor. Okay? Because when I said that, you knew exactly which company that was. Well, you don't hear about these because they don't spend money on advertising, word of mouth. So that's the other thing. I have to get the word out. I also have others that are partnering with me. So if you know anyone out there that's interested in a part-time position, just reach out. The contact information will be below. But the more people that we can tell that this exists and how they can get their hands on all of the benefits, the more uplifted each community is going to become. And I don't know about you, when you have a community that's feeling good, that's getting help, there's less of the negativity that's going on. So definitely reach out if you want to learn more.
So that's something that I also think is really important because I mean, within the last 2 weeks, I've had 3 different people ask me if they knew of any jobs out there that actually help people. So I mean, obviously, there's tons of jobs that are out there where you could be flipping burgers or doing the same task every day, but there's nothing that's really rewarding at the end of it. You might say where you're actually helping somebody, and for those of our listeners that have that desire, definitely check this out. I mean, this will definitely make you feel good at the end of the day.
Definitely.
All right, so let me see, what other questions do we have here? If somebody's like on the fence about like membership and they wanted to learn more about like the programs and what's involved with it, I mean, should they just come see you or how would that work?
Just reach out. I'm going to again put the link down, but I'm not going to talk to you. What I'm going to do is we have calls, and these calls happen daily. This way you can anonymously listen to what the program is about, when it started, everything. And then you, from that, can reach out back to me and say, yes, I want to join. I never want to be the person who's out there trying to recruit people that are not interested. I only want to offer this to people that want to, like you said, have a part-time position where they're really helping people. And so reach out. I'll give you the link to the call. You don't even have to be camera ready. It's a conference call. You can listen with people from around the country because we are posting and advertising all over. And if you're interested, then you can reach back out. So you're not feeling like you're being, I don't know. There's so much of that going on. We're not going to do that to you.
There you go. Not being sold, guys. If this is for you, it's for you. If it's not, it's not. Plain and simple.
Thank you.
All right. So that kind of goes in line with the question that I had next. Now there are other benefits than just education, such as building a sense of community. So if you wanted to become a community leader or just have more of a sense of community, how does having this membership help?
Well, we are. Once I've joined, there is a whole community of people all over the country that basically communicate every day. There are classes that they invite me to. There are events happening. In fact, they're having a big event in Orlando in the next week or two, where they all get together at a conference and share their ideas, and they're breaking out some new ways to help the community. So becoming part of this, you're not alone. You get to meet other people, whether it be virtually or in person. You get new ideas. And you know, when you meet new people, there's other opportunities that come into your life. And you can come back to your community with a wealth of knowledge that you can share. So just being somebody that gets the information and comes back and shares it makes you a community leader. And you'll get to know about all the other nonprofits. So there might be a nonprofit that just ignites your interest. So there's just so many ways.
Awesome sauce. That's pretty much all I have when it comes to questions. I mean, this is really good information. If somebody...
there's one other, I just want to break in. There's one other benefit that I read that was phenomenal. There's a benefit for parents of children under the age of 18. And this is a stipend that's put aside. And if, God forbid, you move on to the next life, your children, each of them, will get $900 a month until they turn 18. And then when they turn 18, they will get a scholarship. So come on, you never know. I'm sure you're watching the news now. You never know. This is something that becomes open to you just by becoming a member. So that's another opportunity that you might want to look into.
Beautiful. So a 501c8 basically is a fraternal beneficiary society or some kind of part of a
nonprofit. Yeah, it's a
nonprofit.
nonprofit organization that has a tax exempt position with billion-dollar corporations that have money set aside, that the only thing you need to do is become a member to get your hands on that money and bring it back to your community.
Let's tap into it, folks.
Hey, I'm going to be doing that. And I look forward to partnering with anyone that wants to do the same.
Beautiful. Karen, thank you so much for your time today. I very much appreciate it. This definitely was something that I learned something new, and I hope our listeners did too.
Thank you so much. Always spending time with you is great. And I just like the realness of this. So thank you.
Awesome. All right. See y'all next time.
Bye, guys. Thank you. See you next time.
Was that okay?
That was okay.
That was okay? Okay.
That was okay. And you know what? I like the realness of it, because you know what? So many people don't do this. I didn't do this because I was, like you said, I am not camera ready. I am not well spoken when it comes to in front of the public.
Mm-hmm.
But if we can get out information that's going to help people, does it really matter how we get it out?
and as long as it gets out there, and the more we do it, the more natural it will become. So I mean, this is beautiful. All right.
Okay. Take care. Bye-bye.
Okay.